In a world overrun with the fake, delusional, and disingenuous, he stands as a beacon of truth. He is Abuki Cabal. You are listening to Abuki Cabal.
Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. I know it's been a while. You guys could take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Still those notifications. We're having those problems with those notifications, but we'll keep doing what we do. So I had a chance to check out this little segment that was on the Repeat Network about why Black women are offended by what men say. And it's kind of vague, but it seems to be something that's a reoccurring event. No matter what we say, some tend to just be offended just for the sake of being offended. You'll see. So I thought I'd take a look at it and see. I had some misgivings ever since I watched that little interview with Anton and the young lady that looked like one of the Three Stooges that he called himself allowing to interview him, and she was rude and quite forceful, and he apologized to this young lady. It was distasteful. I just don't understand why he felt the need to apologize to this lady and give her the upper hand. I mean, I just don't. I don't see why they're over there negotiating with terrorists. I don't understand. But again, we see in this segment some of the same capitulation to some of these terroristic people. You have these young women on there who are offended by things that we say, as if we shouldn't have opinions about anything, or we shouldn't have preferences about anything, and they're just going in about things that we say. So we're going to take a quick look at this and see what you guys think. So without further ado, let's get after it.
That's why. But on top of this, let me say this, because I think this is what a lot of people get. The message gets muddled.
the manosphere is not. It's still.
Let me pause this. So this guy here, Austin, off the script. I'm perturbed with his take on some things. I'm gonna let him speak. You see these young ladies we have here. We have a couple of the regulars here, and let's just see what they have to say.
Still not representative of all black males, and this is what I mean.
I hope not.
Because Sweeney,
Okay, he says the manosphere is not representative of all black males. None of us have ever said that it's representative of all black males. And you see, Miss Nicole Michelle has this negative connotation about the black manosphere. And as you'll see here, what she thinks is the black manosphere is not the black manosphere. And time again, we have these people who know nothing about the manosphere or anything about what we talk about, and they call themselves speaking about us and our leadership abilities and what we're doing about problems, what we're discussing about problems, and all you hear is moaning and complaining about men having discussions about problem solving with other men. And see, this is why in the past you didn't have women in places where men would conversate with each other and commune with each other, because people know that when women are in these areas, that men will tend to alter their behavior in order to gain some sort of attention from the women that they find attractive. Okay. And you'll see some of the same behavior going on with some of these men on the panel. People are going soft on these women because they're just giving ground, and giving ground for what is basically what I'm trying to figure out here. But let's take a look here.
What do you say, Nicole?
I hope not.
Well, no, because here's the thing, Sweeney. I got a question. Who's the leader?
There is none.
Who's the senior guy?
There is none.
My point. So
no, it's the little white dude with the rotini guy.
Like I said, no.
White dude.
We're not finna shame Rolo Tomasi like that, because that's not
Rolo.
Like I said,
yeah.
he was the origin point of it. But there is a difference between the black manosphere, which is why shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He made the Negro manosphere, and the general manosphere, because white men and black men have different dating experiences, because the way that both black and white women operate, especially in this country, are completely different. In the black world, Nicole, in my line, we have a matriarchal system. White males get to enjoy legitimate patriarchy. So the conversation that they get to have, relationship centered, is completely different. You have to speak about that within that context. You can't just say that the black manosphere, the manosphere, and the Negro manosphere are the same. They're not. They never have been.
But
let me ask you this, Julia, why is it with the title that he posed, that Lafitte posed, the question right now, why is it then that a lot of black men find themselves in positions where they're on the defense when it comes to relationships? As far as the video we just watched, why is it a lot of black men, it's like they know, instead of them stick to the rivers and the lakes that they're used to,
right,
and swim in the waters that they're used to, they go out there in the Atlantic and swim, and then when they're about to drown, then they, oh my God, these women drown. Like, it's like, why not look at the woman that's right next to you, take it
because
for what
of
it
social
is,
media.
So now they blame social media for when men go out into other venues and meet other women, and these women have attitudes, and these women are not receptive to these other men. And she's suggesting that these men continue to just date the women in the lakes and rivers that they're used to. So basically, she's telling these men to not venture out, to not go out and try to find women, try to find greener pastures. Just pretty much stick to what she feels is suitable for them. So again, you have a woman basically telling you what's best for you. and she doesn't know you. She doesn't know what you like. She's never asked what you like. She doesn't really care. She just feels like you need to go and date some of those women wherever you are, whether they're, overweight, mouthy, wear too much makeup, whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you don't like, you should stay there, is what she's saying. But it gets better, and she's wearing a ton, I don't know where she's from, but, I don't want to talk about the lady, but I mean, I can't really listen to a person without, observing them and, trying to see where that comes from, So you have different ladies on this panel, and you hear their conversation and what they're saying, and they're giving off certain things about themselves, some not wearing so much makeup, comfortable within their own skin, type, presentation, and you have others that are more covered up, more trying to present a different aesthetic, and all of those things matter, especially when you're when you're looking at and talking to a woman. They give you cues about their personalities based on their outer appearance. So and what they're talking about, especially when they're sizing up other people. So let's move on.
In your lane and have a better, result.
If you're asking
the
me,
manosphere didn't teach them that. I don't know.
Yes, he did. But see, that's the thing again. And I have. If you're asking me the question, if you're asking me the question, Leah, the only answer to that question I can give is that Kevin's message was picked up by the wrong audience. The message he was spreading was picked up. It was intended for audience A. It was picked up by audience B, C, D, E, F, and G, by the people.
Now, this is where I take issue. When you say that Kevin's message was intended for a certain audience, Kevin's message was a broad message. And that message actually was picked up all over the world. Kevin had followers in Russia, in Europe, all over Europe. He had doctors, he had lawyers, he had professional people, Kevin had people just like Andrew Tate has people. Before there was a Tate, there was Kevin. So, for him to say that, this message didn't resonate with a lot of people based on the fact that there was smoke there before there was the fire. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of things going on that men were not talking about. And then when Kevin came out and started talking about a lot of these things, it resonated with white men. It resonated with black men. It resonated with a lot of men who were in dealing with American women or women who had been converted by the feminist ideology. So now you have people who have a not so broad view of Kevin's reach and Kevin's intention, trying to speak on what his intent was. And let's listen to this and see how wrong he is.
Who are disqualified from his rhetoric, which is why if you really go back and watch his content, if we're going to keep it a buck, Nicole in my line, if you keep it a buck, he had to create new categories of high value men to make the lessers feel better. First it was high value, then it became my hit squad, my Henry, my high earners not rich yet, my high value in training, all this other stuff. So
okay, so here's where I'm gonna break this down. Kevin never had to change his message, and see, this is where the uninitiated couldn't follow Kevin's message, because when he was talking about the high value man, what he was basically saying was asking these questions to these women to basically get them to understand that they wanted something that they didn't necessarily need. So just because he was talking about a high value man didn't necessarily mean that that's what he was telling them to go out and go get. But for some reason, you have these people like Austin and these women who basically clearly don't measure up to ever even being in the the vicinity of what a high value man would even want or even be looking at. Or they don't even see that in themselves. They think that, yes, I mean, you have these women are saying that they're 10s, and that's what he showed. He shined a light on that as well. These women think that they're 10s and that they could get this type of man, and he basically showed them that no, your view of yourself is inflated. That is not what you are, and you can wish upon a star or a rock or a blade of grass that you can say that you're a 10 and you'll eventually be a 10, but that's not how it works. And time again, he showed that women were out here saying that they were 10s, but had not done not one iota of the work to be a 10. They just thought that they could just say they were 10 and they could somehow vibrate up the energy or any of this new talk about what they vibrate into being in the 10, or to, somehow attraction and all of this other magical talking and thinking that these people are doing now about what they attract to themselves. Now, here you have, there's probably maybe one young lady up here that could probably attract, a man or a man could say that is really, really super, super attractive. Okay. Well, not super attractive, but I'd say she was probably, I don't know, I'd have to see the rest of her, but her face is okay. You know what I mean? Now, these two at the bottom, I mean, they're some huskies, and they're down here trying to tell, everybody about how Kevin was wrong. And then you got this guy, Austin, off the script, telling a bald-faced lie about what Kevin was talking about. Kevin is rolling over in his grave about this guy sitting up misrepresenting what Kevin was talking about. Kevin was never trying to give a participation trophy for every person up there. He did not change his categories to give different parts of high value men. He basically said, when he talked about Henry's, he said, if you watched his content, that these women, instead of shooting for high value men, you need to try to get you a Henry. But see, Kevin was in our circles and talked to BGS and, other guys, and basically outside of that, before he even started his show. And, we talk about this stuff all the time, where even we say, do we really want a 10? Do we want a woman that's a 10? That's a lot of fucking work. Do I really want a woman who's going to be, trying to, needs all that kind of attention, is going to, going to cause all of that, attention to me, and he's going to need all that upkeep, going to want to do all of that running around and shit, you know what I mean? Do you really want to be in a life with a woman who's a 10? That's a lot to have to deal with, And then to have to be responsible for the upkeep of a 10, because they don't want to do the upkeep of themselves because they don't want to pay for nothing. Because time and time again, they said on his show, they don't want to be responsible for any of the bills, any of the responsibility for the house. And then you have these people on here defending that. But let's move on and let's listen to more of this misrepresentation from this light skin.
He had to create a different message to fit a specified narrative to make the non, as I would say, the non-select Negroes feel like they had a place at the table too. And in the real world, everybody don't have a musical chair. Everybody don't have a seat.
Kevin never said that. Never said that. He never, ever tried to make a place for non-select anybody's. He only said that these women who were trying to shoot for the top were shooting for something that they didn't even rate. If you don't rate a 10, if you're not a 10, what makes you think that you're supposed to get a 10? if you don't make $100,000 a year, what makes you think that you should have a man that makes $100,000 a year? If you make, $25,000 a year and you weigh 250 pounds and you're 5 foot, what makes you think that you shouldn't have a man over here that makes $35,000 a year, that is a halfway decent man that has a regular old job that'll love you and take care of you for the rest of your life? And he even went further and started saying, well, okay, how much did your daddy make? Did your daddy take care of you? What does your father look like? How dare you say that you don't want a man that looks like your father or makes just as much as your father? That's how he made these women look stupid. And this guy is so dumb, he didn't even get the message. And then he's sitting up here basically towing the line for these two young ladies down here who are just as dumb because they didn't get it either. So the ones who didn't participate in class are these three down here. They should get the non-listening in class trophies. They should get the black stars. They don't get gold stars. They should get the black stars because they were sleeping in class, slobbing on themselves in the back. Because they did not listen to Kevin's content. They don't know what Kevin said. They probably watch clips. Or what Kevin said, what Kevin was trying to say without coming out and saying it, went over their heads. So these are the people who were in school who were not critical thinkers. Okay? So let's move on.
That's the net of the situation, whether you like it or not.
She didn't ask that question based on the premises if you were talking about Kevin saying his points. I think she asked the question based on being in the manosphere and the red pill.
And here's the crazy thing.
It's not a message that's specific for audience A. It's a message specific for anybody who's pretty much woken up and understand that, hey, look, there's a similar situation that keep repeating itself. I've been missing it the whole damn time since I've been living. Now that I understand, the nature and of these things, I'm not gonna miss it anymore.
Exactly. Bruiser gets it. See, Bruiser gets it. Bruiser's not up here trying to, pander to these women up here. Bruiser gets it. And SMS Sweeney gets it. Okay? They get it. And they're not trying to pander to these women. They're telling them that basically, what y'all doing stinks. It stinks. Don't try to cover it up. Don't try to act like it's not a problem. It stinks. And everybody knows that it stinks. And people are talking about it. And y'all trying to still act like it's a myth. It's not a myth. It's a reality. And black men are out here seeing it. Other men are out here seeing it. There's white women out here trying to act like y'all because they think that it's fashionable to act like unruly black women. So they're going out here getting BBLs, trying to get the visual aesthetic and try to get the attitude too, because they think that that's what people want. So we're trying to, let them know that, hey, that's not what we want as well. But let's move on.
Because I've taken a red pill. You get what I'm saying? It's not so much of a high value man. That's just a genre in the music. It's almost like, so you got to look at this whole thing as a genre. It's not something that that's who I am. You're in a genre. You're playing the same song as other people that's in the same genre.
Well, not all of them are losers.
So now that you see, So now that you see, for example, hip hop is people that came in there and took a shit on it. Now you got these people who actually started or been in it from the beginning when it was actually something. Now you got these people like, oh man, I can't believe they did that. They even look at hip hop as a woman, like a wife or something. They took her and put her in the sewers. Shout out to Common with his lyrics. But it's almost like a genre. It's something that is just constant. It stays there, and other people come in there, and they change the whole context.
Exactly. So they're trying to gloss over the fact that this is an age of awakening for men. Men have come into their own and have started to acknowledge the fact that we have been asleep. We have been been walked over for so long, and some of us are comfortable being walked over. And as you can hear, I'm about to be. You're about to see something that you know I never thought that I would see. You're about to see somebody who goes hard on women, and he's fixing to say some real weak shit. I never thought that I would have ever heard anything like that, but you fixing to hear some real weak shit. Let's go.
Of it. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that you individually have to be, you know, you have to wear that on your sleeve.
And to speak specifically about the Negro manosphere or Black manosphere, and I get what Leah's saying. She said basically, you know what I mean. You was swimming in the lake or the pool, and then you try to jump out in the Atlantic. Here's the problem with that. It's under the assumption that we're only talking about people shooting out of their league. The three main concerns, if you go to any Black person on YouTube, as far as manosphere content and in regards to Black women, there's only three main complaints that Black men have of women. Well, one for real. What would you think that is? What would you?
Overweight, a real saucy mouth, think you know everything. You know, those are kind of all in together. You know, will not submit. Think submission is just a cuss word. You know, these things are all kind of melded into the saucy mouth. You know, it's like it's the non-submission. You know, just uncooperative, uncooperativeness, all encompassing. Okay, overweight. Let's see, what's the third? Overweight, uncooperative. I can't believe the third eludes me. But I know now, I mean, modern day, you know, women, they lead with what they're not going to do. They never lead with what they're going to do or what benefit they are to you as your other half. It's what I'm not going to do, what I shouldn't have to do. You know, all of those things. That's what they lead with. You know, but the third eludes me. Overweight, uncooperative. Y'all don't laugh at me. Okay, let's move on.
Say the top three reasons that Black men speak about our women online.
Aggression.
That's
Asking
one.
for men to have too much money. And it's the Black women are too aggressive. The standards, they ask for men with too much money, and they're out of shape, and they want in shape men. They want the top 10% of men. That's those would be the top three.
Okay,
I mean,
so
I would say I would replace
fat and uncooperative.
attitude, or I guess that can tie in with aggression. But
so the question is that true?
Very.
For the most part, by and large, yeah. If you
No, I'm saying like so to people who don't.
True, but for the most part, by and large.
I'm saying to people who don't agree. So let's say they are making complaints, right? But is it true though? No.
No.
You don't
A
think
lot of
that's true?
people gauge and
What?
interact in proximity. So if
There we
you
go.
from the Bronx, New York, and you
Okay, you here to see this? Mr. Let Go is saying this now. How many of you guys have watched some of Mr. Lego's content? Now I don't have nothing against Mr. Lego, but this is some soft ass shit right here. This is some Steve Harvey-esque shit that he's doing right now. You know, you capitulating to this chick down here, man. I don't know what it is. But for you to sit up and do this is not a good look. This is not a good look. You know, this woman is sitting up here saying that, you know, that what we're saying is bogus, and you know good and damn well that is not the case. People talking about proximity and all of this. This is the same stuff where these women say that I don't know anybody like that. I don't know any women who act like that. I've never been around a woman who does that. And you know that's bullshit. You know it is. You know it. I don't know anybody out here that don't know a Black woman that's not ignorant. That's crazy. How many stories have we seen on TV where folks are pulling folks out of the drive-throughs, throwing stuff on people, beating people up in the malls and all kind of stuff, whooping people. Look, I just heard a story about 2 nurses getting into it, whooping each other, throwing coffee all over the offices, dragging each other all through the place. And leaving the place. They didn't even call the police. Now, if that was 2 men, it would be hell to pay. And both of them were sisters. I've heard even worse. This same thing happened at another facility between 2 other ones a week before that. So you hear about things like this all the time. But for these people to sit up and say this, now I guess this lady's in New York and she say she ain't never heard no women acting like this and stuff. This is just bullshit. This is a sisterhood trying to explain away, this stuff and trying to make it seem like this is a myth. But that's just bullshit, man. Come on. I mean, we got to cut the shit. We really do. We got to start acknowledging this stuff and trying to do better.
Used to women a certain type of way. Now it's all women. Have you ever been to Atlanta? Have you been to California?
Yes.
Have you been to
Texas? Yes. I've been all over and I've seen y'all everywhere. And Mr. Lego's talking about, yes. Dude, you talk to women, you have consultations with women all over the place. And you talk to ignorant women every day. How can you sit up and say that? You talk to ignorant women all over the place. You've been on this show for months and you talk to ignorant women every night. And you sit up here trying to say, yes, it doesn't happen. I agree with you, Leela Granch, Leah Javinci, whatever the hell your name is. I agree with you, and I mean, come on. This is disingenuous, man. What has happened to this show?
Have you been anywhere? But now it's all women, and you've never left the borough. But it's all
nobody's
women.
saying it's all women.
This is what's crazy.
Hold on, we're talking about like a majority. I don't think it's all.
No, it gets cool to talk about, Lady Di. It gets cool to talk about. So even men who aren't even experienced, because a lot of these dudes aren't experiencing women at all.
Okay, now Mr. Lego is usually a data and statistics guy. How can you say that? How do you know that another dude who is talking about his experiences, how do you know that he's not experiencing women? And why are you getting on to this incel thing about these dudes not even talking to women and not even encountering women? And now you're going down this road to where you just are blowing off these guys' experiences with these women. And how many bad encounters would it take you as a young man before you just say, fuck it, before you just stop, before you quit? I remember when I was a young guy, that was a long time ago, but I remember the success rate was not that good then. It was good enough, but it wasn't that good then. You had to shoot your shot a bunch of times for you to be successful. We just was too stupid to know it was bad. But now these guys are a lot smarter than us. They know how bad it is. And some of them are just quitting. They're just saying, I'm just not going to play. So, is it dumb to stop playing? Or is it smart? To them, it may be smart to them. They may just be putting their efforts towards another direction. They may be putting it to themselves until they hit another age, until things get better, because we all know the closer they get to the wall, the better the odds are. And right now, I already know. I can tell you right now, this lady that you're agreeing with, this Leela Javinci, this chick here has a self-esteem problem, and she is gonna really root for the home team. She's gonna say that no, there's no problems with the women and all of that, and she's talking about the boroughs and all of this stuff. She's a cute girl. She's all for the woman thing, and she's gonna say that basically there are no problems with the women. I can see right through her, and you are going for the okie doke. And now you fix to fall hook, line, and sinker into this and go down this incel path talking about these dudes that are just at home, beating off and doing all of this bullshit. I can't believe you fell for this, man. But let's go on. I'm going to let you guys see how he makes a fool out of himself.
No, I get that.
Hold on, lady guy. You're not even experiencing women at all. They're just watching porn and jacking off.
Now, who is at home just doing that and just masturbating? Who is at home doing that? Where the fuck is Mr. Lego getting this shit from? I mean, let's all you manosphere guys that are listening to me, the ladies that are out here, how many of y'all know guys that are just sitting at home, not encountering women and just looking at, the specialty sites and just not encountering women, just in the void, exercising their hands? I don't know anybody like that, but he is of the mind that they're just masses of guys that are just checked out, that are just on the computer doing hand exercises. That shit. That, you know what that is? That's catastrophic thinking right there. That's make believe. You hear that shit. You usually hear that shit in women, where they say, oh, if you don't support this, then it's gonna lead to all women just going back to the Stone Ages. That's the same type of shit that they do. That's catastrophic thinking, and that's what we're hearing from Mr. Lego. Catastrophic thinking. All these boys are out here just not messing with the women. They're at home. They're watching the Pornhub and they're beating off. That shit sounds crazy as hell. I'm ashamed that I'm hearing this from him. I really am. I don't know where the fuck this came from. I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody put something in the water or something. Maybe he's been indoctrinated into something. Maybe they've been doing shock therapy on him or something. He's been converted. I don't know.
Not experiencing women on YouTube complaining about women.
You know this how?
What
did you say, nigga?
You know this how?
This is my example. So my example is I see women doing that same thing. I've heard of women just talking about like, oh, this person is bad in bed. That's too small of a size, right? And I'm like, well, how do you know that? Oh, I heard my friend say it.
Exactly. And that's just mental contagion. That's what you get. You get women out here that basically just hear the same stories over and over and over and over and over. And that's where you get a 6-year-old saying that black men ain't shit. Telling their teachers that on the playground. That's where you get that from. You know where they hear it from? Their mothers, their aunties. And women like Leah Javinci and Miss Nicole down here. That's where you get that shit from. And they think this shit's funny. This shit ain't funny. I mean, this is really crazy. To come out and say some of this stuff, and I don't know. Maybe I'm going a little bit too hard on them, but let's go on off in here. I think Mr. Lego, he went crazy on this, but I think Lady Di is trying to bring him back in and make him really, really discuss this, and I think Bruiser was trying to bring him back in and make him discuss this. Chanel really just didn't even participate because I think she knows that there's something going on. I think SMS, he's trying to discuss it and say that, hey, that there is something to this. Miss Nicole finally shut up because she knew that was what she said was stupid in the beginning. I hope not. Because she didn't have a leg to stand on to say what she said. The red pill is truth. And once you swallow that pill and you see these unruly, grape ape looking, knuckle dragging, unruly folk looking individuals out here who say that they are tens and that they deserve $100,000 man, and I shouldn't have to contribute anything to the household, and I don't respect a 50-50 man. What? I am the table. What? Why should any man sign up for that kind of shit? I'm still just trying to find it. I'm trying to, find an equation where this shit adds up, where it is beneficial for a man to sign up for the relationships that these people are trying to sell them. And again and again and again, you got these women out here trying to sell you a relationship where you are a decent dude and they trying to get you with a Lizzo. Or they're trying to get you with a woman who looked like 50 Cent in a wig. And everybody's saying she's cute. And if you say that she's not, then you somehow, you're like, how can you say that? Like you just, something wrong with your eyes or something. Everybody's saying that you're wrong for saying speaking the truth and saying what's real, because you're the only person in the room that'll say what's real. Don't you get tired of that? Don't you get tired of being around people that won't even allow you to state the obvious? People who deny, facts, data, and statistics. When you say something and you provide the data, the peer-reviewed data, these people say, well, I don't know where you got that from. You could have got that from anywhere. You could give it to them to read, and then they read it, and they still don't know what they're reading. But these are the people that are out here. Because these people don't respect education. They don't respect statistics. They don't respect they don't respect science. They don't respect reality. They're all out here talking about vibrations and magical fruits and vegetables and all kinds of craziness. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with our people. I really don't. But let's move on.
So they're just saying things that's happening.
I understand women are children, so I understand women are going to do that. But we talk about the men.
The majority of men don't experience women.
But
my point is,
the majority of men don't experience.
Hold on. Hold on very quickly.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. So my point is that if someone is saying a point, like you're saying, okay, they didn't experience it, so they don't have a place to talk. I agree with that. I don't think you should be talking about something you ain't never experienced. But if you hear what they're saying and you just ask a regular man that same question, hey, do you think that this is true? Right? Just an average man, a man that could be married. Some of these men are going to say, yeah, that is true. Because it's a majority of people that are this type of way. So if we're talking about ladies out of shape, right? Yeah, I could agree that if you go to a certain place, okay, some of these women in this area are not going to be out of shape. But I really think they're talking about black women, right? So black women are, let's say, quote unquote, out of shape for the majority of it. A lot of black women are not fit, and they don't have to be a stick. I'm just talking about how they look.
Okay, so that's the cutoff. So, there it is, and I just think there's a lot of capitulation that's going on the show now. Thank God for Bruiser on the show. I guess Anton's left now, and then he apologized to Mo on that show. I meant to cover that, but it's ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. That some of the things that are going on the show now. I mean, they had a couple of heathen women that they didn't have to kick off the show with good reason. They kept them on there for far too long in the first place. They just let them run wild on the show. Don't check them. let people just come on and just tell bald-faced lies about what Kevin was trying to do, which I think needs to be checked. You can't just let anybody just come on there. I mean, y'all had Kevin on the show. You know, out of respect for Kevin, y'all shouldn't let nobody come on the show and disparage his work, because none of that was what Kevin does. You know, Kevin was just as much for the regular guy as he was for the high value dude. He said he's running those circles, and he's running the circles with the average dude. He says when he was going around the country, he said he saw average dudes just like he saw, upper level dudes. And everybody was saying the same thing about what they were encountering with these types of women. And the fact of the matter is, the women that wanted these high value men, the high value men would not have them. So, it doesn't get any more clear than that. I just don't understand why this is not clear. And I don't understand why, you still have people on here that don't get that when he was talking about Henrys, he was saying, you need to get you a Henry. And when he said that, okay, would you date a plumber? A plumber is not a bum. Plumbers make well over $100,000 a year. Some of them make more than $200,000 a year. So, some of y'all just don't get it. And that's why I say some of y'all just don't get it. And I think Kevin knew that too. I think Kevin knew that some of y'all just don't get it. No matter how he said it, you still wouldn't get it, And he kept trying to talk to some of y'all like y'all was in romper room. He kept trying to hammer the damn circle into the star with some of y'all. But it just didn't fit. Just didn't fit. And I think it's still that way. That's why there's so many women out here that want to throw his name up and talk about how bad they hated him. When he was trying to help y'all, trying the best he could to try to help y'all, to show you how bad this system has messed you over and prevented you from having happy lives. And that's part of what I want to get out. And the other part is stop negotiating with terrorists. Stop fucking negotiating with terrorists. We don't do that. If she's ignorant, talking loud, and the conversation didn't go anywhere, then hey, you know what you got to do? Take no prisoners. It's total carnage. And that's that. Go on, lay that data out there and make them look like mincemeat. That's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to, rub that face in the poo-poo. Sometimes you got to know that you're wrong. You got to be made to know that you're wrong. That's why when you got a real good teacher, they let you know that you're dumb right in front of the class. They ain't going to kick you out the class. They're going to let you keep coming to the class. And, and then you just know that, hey, it don't feel good to be dumb in the class. So quit playing and learn how to figure this thing out like everybody else. With that, I guess I'm going to go and get up out of here. I had to switch my music up because, I got a copyright because, as you grow, these people figure out that, hey, you using their music and whatnot. And I got sniffed out. But appreciate you guys coming by and checking me out. I guess I'm going to move back into some science here in the next run. And appreciate you guys hanging out with me.